30 minutes of friends talk about everything that matters to women. Welcome to the lounge.
Sometimes it's a bad thing, but when it's a sensitive topic or a bit of a fight, that's where things get a bit sensitive, to be honest. So there's two ways we can go. We can go directly to the person face to face or through email, depending on where you work and what the procedures usually are, or we can CC the whole team. So how do we feel about that?
I feel like don't get people involved into this. Don't CC people. If you want to say something, just say it directly to me.
Yeah.
And unless if it's something that has to do with the full department, or you need the manager's response, or like they have to be like aware of what's going on, or even like if it's like a chat group, it could be also the same. If it's something that has to do with everyone, then you can mention it for everybody. But for me personally, just send it to me directly, because I think it's a bit of disrespect.
Yeah.
If you have anything to say, why can't you just come to me in person? Even if you're my boss.
Yeah.
Let's just discuss things face to face. You know what I mean? I just have a hard time people sending things because I'm too sensitive. And then when you trigger me, things do that.
Definitely. It's 100% true. I mean, I think I've been through this situation before when we were dealing with work and we had to deal with certain stuff, and then I had a whole voice notes from the person telling me things, which the problem is I wasn't even at fault at the time. So it was really it felt like embarrassing to me, but at the same time I replied at the same time telling them that I have not done certain things, like that was not the case, and I had to send it to them directly in the group chat in front of everyone.
Oh, wow.
So that kind of embarrassment sometimes you really don't want to deal with. So if it's something that may be of a conflict that you would rather resolve it personally, just to make sure if the person is actually right or wrong at first or an instance, unless there was something related to the whole group. So that's the time where you would actually CC, okay? After anything besides that, I think that's just something kind of disrespectful, honestly.
I agree. I prefer to keep it like very professional in the sense that you can come to me directly and talk to me rather than make it a public topic, we can say, because that's where feelings are hurt, embarrassment, and many other different feelings. So it's way better to go straight to the person. But unfortunately, I know in different corporates, you need to email the person. That is where you need to email. You can't go have a one-on-one conversation with them. They prefer that everything has a track record. And unfortunately, let's say you are part of this team, the manager will CC your team leader because the team leader needs to be aware of whatever is happening. So unfortunately, these things do kind of happen most of the time. But if we're talking about groups on our phones, no, don't bring it up in a group. That's where I really draw the line, and that's where I'm not even going to reply back, you know?
You know what's worse? If people like started talking as well, like adding to whatever the main person said.
Exactly.
And then you're like,
fire to the flame.
Are y'all starting something on me?
More fire to the flame.
I know. And then you're going to start fighting with everyone in the group. For me personally, I just, like, I get the corporate world, but in a group chat, please do not test me.
Exactly.
And also, if like someone sent a message, I will always be like, okay, y'all can talk in private. I would say it like straight up, because why do you want to start something for a person? Like, I don't understand the concept. What's the point? But also, if you're close, I feel like you would have the sense of, oh, we're close enough. We can talk. We can share everything in front of everyone, but not under one.
Definitely.
The closer we are, the more I'm sensitive. That's what I've realized.
That's kind of true.
So true. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. Once, and for one of the shows I work for, I did send something on the group on purpose because it was a team mistake, and it's happened so many times. And I'm someone that barely ever replies to the groups of, especially my live shows, you know, unless it's something serious. And I'm like, you know, they mentioned me by name. But that day, yes, I chose violence, to be honest. And I chose that route because I hate seeing the same mistake happen over and over again. And people are more than happy to call you out on stuff. For example, in the studio where the whole team is. So one day there was something that wasn't meant to be on air. It made it to air, then made it online. And I'm like, what is this? So yeah, but they were grown-ups. They didn't reply. Everyone called me privately to deal with it and fix the issue. So it really just depends on what the issue is, what kind of group setting you are in. Anyway, ladies, let's take a quick break.
So one of the things that I've noticed when I started working in this beautiful ministry, I've noticed that I tend to work so much and I forget to give myself a break time. But then I've learned from you that sometimes you need to share your calendar with a person, whoever the group is that you're working with. So you have to inform them that if you're working if you cannot work on a certain day because you want to go on vacation or something, you tend to be like more firm and you deliver it to the crew so they wouldn't really cross you with that, and they would choose other dates to work with you. But some people, to be fair, some people, and I've learned that I'm like, no, I should just go straight up. I keep working. I should be flexible. I should be easy and give everything to everyone. And then now my calendar is messed up because of me.
Right.
But now, and now I'm learning to be more firm with my calendar, especially like if it's a break for myself. So how do you feel about a shared calendar with the crew or the team, or if you want to keep it like firm?
Okay, I have a lot to say. So sharing my actual calendar is not happening because that's very private to me, so I'm not going to share it. But if I have a major trip coming up where it's pre-planned like 2 weeks ahead, a month ahead, whatever it is, I will give them a heads up. Those are my dates. Even if the world is burning, I will not be here. You know what I mean? But other than that, I do take 24-hour, 48-hour trips during the month, usually a few times. That's where I'm more flexible, you know, because I'm booking morning of the flight usually to get on the flight in a few hours or the night before. So I'm able to see, okay, I'll wait for my Saturday. That's when I do my schedule for work. I'll see what days are coming up, what filming days are happening, and then I'll book my trip. I'll book it. I'll not let anyone know, but let's say the show decided to change what day they're filming on. No, sorry. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm flexible in a way with my flexible trips or vacations. But for example, my friends' birthdays, I know from the beginning of the month, I'm not working on this date. You know, I'm taking them out to dinner, or I'm taking them on a trip, or. So I make sure family and friends' birthdays, I'm not working, if you know what I mean. And that's something, beginning of the month, I'm like, hey, director, those dates I'm not here. Yeah.
What about you?
I guess I'm kind of flexible, or I used to be flexible when it came down to work versus going on a trip, for instance. So for me, I would honestly, I was the type to just be flexible with everything all the time. Like, hey, we're going to be doing this, we're going to be shooting at this time, we're going to be shooting at this day. And I would literally just let go of everything, including my family and everything else. There are certain things that I may be able to be flexible about when it comes, like you said, there are certain trips when they're just not planned actually. I would be okay with delaying that. But if it was something that I was planning for quite some time, then I would definitely would never give that up, because something just told me one day when I woke up, I was like, I need to do this for myself, because I need the time for myself. And when a certain feeling hits me with like, you need a break from everything so that you could refresh yourself and come back and actually do better, this is something that needs to be done. So if it has something to do with work, I have to plan this early on, tell them, let them know, make it official. Like, I'm not going to be here this month. You're not going to see me. I'm not going to be here at all.
Definitely.
To be fair, I don't play with weekends no more. I used to give so much to like work or like everyone, but now I'm like, weekends are off limit. It's for me to rest. I'll do whatever I want. It's not your business. Even if I have free time to come to work or do whatever, I am not doing that.
You want to take a break.
I am done. And then also the breaks, I've learned that from you. Now I'm just like, slow down. And for me, I have like a big vacation usually. I don't take like days off unless if I truly have something going on and it's like major, then I have to like leave. But other than that, it's like a major vacation, and then I have to like inform them. And sometimes, honestly, I'll be real, I don't care no more. I just leave. And then I let them know, I'm like, by the way, I'm leaving for vacation next week, so thank you. No, I'm done. I'm too tired.
You just want to retreat. You're just done.
Definitely. Honestly, that was me with my office job, because they are flexible like that. You know, it's not the kind of environment where you need to put vacation days in or give anyone a heads up. So usually I'd just be like, oh, hey, I'm leaving to the airport in an hour. See you in 2 weeks. And they don't mind. But that's the office culture. But it doesn't always work. So keep that in mind, Fozia, for next time. Anyway, ladies, let's take a quick break. Meetings have been very different lately. We have in-person meetings, but personally with my business, what I do is that all the meetings are online. It's easier for everyone, honestly, rather than getting in your car, going to the office, and it's a mess. But there's different ways to go about a meeting. So obviously there's a lot of us. Do you put your hand up to talk or excuse yourself, or do you just, go for it?
Well, I can be both, actually. I can be both, where I either put my hands up trying to be respectful, depends on who I'm dealing with.
Right.
And at times, it's just a person that I am very close with, then yes. Normally, we don't have that kind of meetings. You're talking about public sector versus the private sector, so it's a different case. When we had the private sector, it was somehow a situation where we had to discuss certain matters, but it was very professional in that matter. But at certain times, especially these years, we've been having a lot of meetings where you just sit down and listen, and once the person is done talking, then you're allowed to leave. And you're just nodding your head and you're like, okay, all right, got it, yes. And that's about it, pretty much.
I miss meetings. Like when I was younger, I swear I remember when I was 20, 21, 22, I loved meetings because they were fun and I felt like it was like school, you know what I mean?
Right.
Where your favorite group, you're chilling with them, you're sitting there with them and you're like, oh my God, and then you would make side comments, whatever. Now that I'm older, I couldn't care less.
Same.
Don't call me for a meeting.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna talk in a meeting unless if you're kind of hinting that I did something wrong. If I did something wrong, I will be quiet. But if I know I didn't do something wrong,
It's
I'm
over.
starting something. I'm fighting with someone, I'm arguing in the meeting, I'm talking back, and it's just cause again, I feel like I get irritated real quick. And that's one of the reasons why I'm done going to meetings. If there's anything, I would go super late, so I would meet my boss later. I'm like, what happened? What's going on? But I would never go to the meeting because I get triggered immediately. I immediately want to start fighting with people, and you know what? I'm trying to be a classy lady now.
It used to be like that for me. It used to be like that. I used to be very sensitive to the point where I would go crazy. Why would you say that? Why would you do that? Why would you start, things that I haven't even done or whatever? And now I'm just like,
Exactly, that's me at every meeting.
Do what you gotta do, say what you gotta say.
So
I'm done.
Definitely, that's what I do now. I just don't say anything in the meeting. I'm just chilling, to be completely honest. Unless I have something to say, as in my notes, had it at the back of my head, was gonna do that in the meeting. I don't let anything get to me, to be honest. But usually our meetings that are face-to-face are pretty long.
Yeah.
Without any details, to be honest, without the need to be that long.
Right.
So that's where I get a bit you're wasting my time. We could have had a text on the group and it could have been enough instead of just sitting there talking to each other, just like when you were in school, you mentioned.
Yeah.
So I feel like now, especially for having a face-to-face meeting, it needs to be quick, short, right to the point. Don't make any jokes, please. I beg you. Let's just wrap this up, If it's online, you're able to switch off your camera, switch off your mic, and do whatever you want to do.
Sure.
When you hear your name, you can go back to the meeting, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? The thing is about the meetings, it's supposed to be the meeting's supposed to be straightforward and in harmony. People need to talk and discuss things. But I genuinely feel like meetings is more of showing the power, someone is there and they're telling you what to do.
Right.
And that's why I feel like I have a bit of resistance. And I feel like it's also, as you said, it's different from a private to public
the
sector.
public.
And honestly, I'll say the truth. I think meetings should be done. That's it. Send emails.
They should be banned.
They should be over. Just send emails. Let people
make it
rest
quick
at
and
home.
easy. Yeah.
Tell me what to do at home. But
100%.
I think meetings are just done.
So true, especially that most of them drag on too long. But I'm waiting for the culture to change, where we start sending
it's already
messages.
shifted. It's already changed. That's why they made FaceTime. That's why they made the video calls where you have to do certain things just on a phone call and get things done straight away. We're in a fast mode generation, so this is how things are working recently. But back in the days when we used to have meetings, things were kind of more, let's say, intimate when it came down to when you're sitting down with your corporate leader or you're just sitting with your colleagues, it was a way to somehow communicate and get close to each other, to understand each other in a way.
Right. now.
We do. We actually do.
I don't want to.
But it's
if
just.
you don't like the group, I don't want to go there.
I mean, especially in our workplace, it's kind of something that is needed.
Yeah.
Like if you're actually meeting new people to get to work with, and it's very important for that. But how about we go for a quick break and we'll be right back.
One of the things that I love doing is actually documenting my wins and my fails. But let's focus today on the wins. For me, I'm really, really, really obsessed with the idea of me documenting them just for the sake of having a reminder for yourself to remember how much you actually worked hard.
Yeah.
So do you believe in documenting your wins, or are you more of, you know, I've done it, let me just move on to the next gig?
Do you want me to go first? Well, to me, I think it's very important to actually document such things, especially when it comes down to your wins, because most of the times we do seem to forget that we go and pass a long way in thinking that we have not reached to a point where we really did what we wanted to do or get a job done most of the times, because we're just too busy and focused thinking about the future and how much we have to do more for us to become more accomplished, when in fact when you're sitting right in today or thinking about today, things that you've accomplished in your past is something to be grateful for, which is why I feel like it's so important sometimes, because this year I sat down with myself, I started documenting these things, and I was like, you know what, I should be thankful for all the things that I have accomplished, the things that I've done, no matter how simple they are, but they are so important to write down these things just to see how grateful you are. I think it's a very good thing to do, honestly.
Definitely. I feel like it's so important. I'm someone that has the worst memory on the planet. I'm a goldfish to all my friends, and they know that. I know that. I tend to forget all the wins, honestly. And sometimes I'd see something that would remind me and be like, oh, wow, I actually did that at that age, or I've actually been through that. Or someone would be talking about a dream of theirs, and I'd be like, I achieved that so many years ago that I actually forgot, you know? So I don't, let's say, have my wins somewhere or my losses yet, but I do need to figure out a way where I could keep track of all of that, keep the memories, and to be able just to go back to it, I guess.
And it's so true. I have a bad memory as well, and the thing is that I've noticed within the years, like whenever I go back watching pictures and photos that I kept, like, you know, in like memory box and all of that, I would notice that I'm like, oh my God, I've done this. I cannot believe, like, I always remember the little things that I've done, and I'm like, oh, I can't believe I've done this. So for me now, for the past couple of years, I started taking pictures. So whenever, even if I'm on set, like I love the show, I'm like, let me just take a group picture with everyone, and I make sure, I'm like, you would see me being really irritating. I'm like, please, let's take a picture. Let's take a picture, because I want that picture. Yeah, because I want to keep it for myself. Because it means the world to me, and like I'm always grateful for the people that I worked with. So these little things for me is always documented. And also I start lying sometimes, because I'm like, people, I'm gonna start writing a book, and I need the pictures to be putting them in the book. And I'm gonna say that I used to be a surfer one day, even though I wasn't, but there's a picture to prove that I wasn't a skateboarder. I was a skateboarder.
I like that, a surfer.
I'm like, I'm not a skateboarder, but I do have a picture with it. I just wanna have these moments and then write my own book with like my own drama and stories that maybe I add a little spices.
A little spices.
Definitely. No, I think I love that idea. Honestly, away from losses and wins that we have, I noticed, I thought I didn't care for handwritten cards that we get with gifts. But in my dressing room, I have my vanity, and I noticed that whatever card I get, I actually just shove at the top of the mirror. And today when I was getting ready, there's a whole bunch of, like, you know, the small photos we take, the disposable camera ones.
I love them.
Cards. And I looked at some of the cards and I'm like, wow, this is from like my university days. Like, it's been a while. So I noticed I do cherish memories in a way. And the fact that I just did it without being so conscious about it, where I was just placing them, and I ended up with so many. So I want to start doing that with my wins, hopefully, not just things I get from people or messages that really mean to me.
That's very important. I think it's one of the most beautiful things, not just to document it, writing it down, but also having these photos. Because I remember, like, last year I wasn't doing that, but then, you know, this year I started taking a lot of photos. I actually even have a small printer even for the pictures that I take on my phone, and I make sure to print down these pictures and put them in a book, like a journal thing,
Yeah.
where I start to keep memories and, you know, write down the things that I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
So it's kind of something to remind me always to come back to the moment and just enjoy being in the moment itself.
So true. I feel
Yeah.
like we end up forgetting what we're grateful for and all those big moments. Hopefully, we'll change that about us very soon. But, ladies, let's take a quick break. One of my biggest issues with my closest friend is that she's a people pleaser, but now we're all happy that she's in therapy to deal with that.
Oh my
I
God.
am quite the opposite of a people pleaser. No is the first thing I think of before the third option comes, which is a yes. Not trying to be difficult, but I'm just simply someone that knows what I want to do, what I don't want to do, where I want to be in life, or even with my friends, you know, some days I want to hang out, others it's a no. So I'm comfortable saying it. But I have noticed that a lot of people have a really hard time to just say the word as it is. They will go in circles, they'll try to get out of they'll confirm the plans, and then let's say try to get out of it on the day or on the spot or the night before, where they could easily said, no, sorry, I can't do it. So obviously I'm talking about saying no in every situation, but that was just an example.
Yeah.
How are you ladies with saying no?
Oh my God, don't get me started with that, because first of all, I have a lot of issues when it comes down to either saying yes or no. But that's not because, well, that I have to go to therapy, but that's
Right.
but that's because sometimes, you know, there are a lot of times where I say no. That's the problem. I say a lot of no's, and not because, like, it's nothing personal, guys. I would really love to explain this sometimes to people. Like, this is not personal. This has to do with me. Because most of the times I get so wrapped up in certain things that I like to focus on certainly just one thing. Once I focus on 2 or 3 things at the same time, mine is just like going crazy and I'm all over the place and I don't know how to react to it. So I just know myself for a fact that if I do say yes to someone, then I need to double check with myself first.
So true.
So for me, it's like now, because I'm saying a lot of no's, now people are kind of misunderstanding me. That's where I get to this point, like the problem. I have this issue when it comes down to work. So it's like she keeps saying a lot of no's, but what is the actual cause of it? Is that I need to tend to like to focus on one thing.
Exactly.
This is not personal, but there are certain times where, like, you know, you have someone counting on you. You have your superior counting on you. You have certain people who are just, you know, they know that they can count on you for certain things for you to do the job, and they know that you're gonna do it. So here I'm like, here comes the girl who just likes to say yes now. So yes, that's where the pleasing kind of a person comes out.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to keep saying no all the time, and I don't want to stand to a ground where I'm like, you know, being aggressive about it at the same time. I just want to like chill down, like calm down,
So
girl.
true.
Like, you know, you can do this.
Yeah.
Let's learn how to like stay up to date when it comes down to it, but just to make sure that the timing is right. It's on the right time. the right date.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we're fit for it. We're perfect. Then it's all good.
Yeah.
So true.
I'm more of a yes person throughout my whole life. I feel like, because I don't know why, I feel like someone always believes in me, or someone depends on me, or I'm like the strong girl who can handle everything. And then I reached the point where I'm like jiggling everything like all over the place, and I feel like I'm falling apart because of that, because of the amount of times I said yes. And I did fall apart, and it's just at the end of the day, no one was there to tell you, oh, poor girl, poor you. We shouldn't have, like, you know, give you all of that load. But the reality is, no one really cares much, because at the end of the day, you're representing them, or you're representing your family, you're representing whatever. So at the end of the day, I've learned to say no. I'm still saying yes, but I usually take a minute after that, like a week or two. I think about it and I go back. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Even though I said yes, I need some time to think about it. Then I need to leave. Now I started saying no to even like work. I used to say yes to everything. But now work, I'm taking a break. I need even my hours. I used to be like, let me work till like 11, 1, 2, it's fine. I'm not doing that no more. Thank you very much. Because I need to rest up, honestly. Even like the weekends, I used to do like all kind of stuff for my family. I go get the food, I go do whatever, and I'm like, the weekend's for me now. I'm gonna rest.
Yeah.
I am forcing the no because at least it's more of me setting boundaries with myself and the other person.
That's true.
We can be people pleasing, but to an extent.
To an extent.
If it's you're jeopardizing yourself, you're jeopardizing your energy, your heart, your soul, you're becoming depleted, then right here where you know saying no, it's the right thing to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you. So last year I had this idea and I started saying yes to stuff. It didn't go well, honestly, for me, because when I know it's a no and then I say it's yes, it's a disaster. Anyway, I can talk about that for hours. So let's take a quick break.
So I was talking about boundaries previously. How about this kind of boundary where if you're going on a holiday, for example, and then you would most probably, a lot of people, they change their status. I am the type of person who would honestly not even look at the status. Like if you, I would not look at the status and I would still email you, message you, and be disrespectful sometimes. I mean, honestly. But do you actually care about the status of a person, if they're available or busy, or do you just like barge in and then talk to the person and you don't really care?
Honestly, I don't think that I'm the type that pretty much looks at status. I mean, who looks at it these days?
Thank you.
Unless you're putting it on a DP profile.
But also like an email. An email usually it's like
I don't even
you would
look at
receive
emails.
like a what?
No emails for me.
I like emails.
I don't do
What it
emails.
is.
I don't think.
Send an email.
I don't think we're at work like I see people doing emails much. Honestly, they're just like usually in a WhatsApp group or just like.
True.
In a WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So it's like for me, I don't really pay attention to that. But if I do see like an airplane flying by in a display picture, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna text that person.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm messaging.
Unless they're very close to me. Unless it's
Yeah.
my sister or it's my brother, I'm like,
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm messaging.
yeah.
I don't care where you are. I don't care
exactly.
who you are. I am messaging.
Yeah.
And if it's something has to do with
It depends on who you're
if
talking
it's
to.
my honestly, trust me when I say I message everybody,
Okay,
I message
okay, I
everybody.
get
Even my boss, who's like back at the time
Wow,
my previous
Fatia.
job. Yeah, my previous job. Honestly, I messaged them. I was like, I know you're on a holiday.
I know you are.
I just wanted to let you know. Tell me what's going on. How do I do this, like, transaction? I had my moments. I'm telling you, I don't care. Unless if you're not replying, that I would say, oh, I get you're on a trip. Have fun. If you replied, oh, I'm holding conversation too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I just don't reply. As simple as that. I don't usually put anything on my display picture or status because, none of us even remember that exists.
Yeah.
I just don't reply. As simple as that. If I'm taking my vacation seriously, I don't reply. And then sometimes during the week, I don't want to reply.
Yeah.
No vacation, I'm not away, nothing is happening, but I simply don't want to reply. So a good thing is to always have a second phone on you at all times where you can switch off your main phone at any moment. That's been the trick I've used for years. There's more tricks that I would rather tell you about privately because I don't want all my cards on the table right now.
That's true. Sounds like a great idea.
But honestly, if I'm going to text someone and I see their display picture that they're on vacation, if it's someone I work with, I will not text them. If it's one of my friends I'm texting and they better answer. Just to put it out there.
That is crazy. For me, I don't like when people text me. I'm like, okay, I'll do whatever it is to you, but you're not doing it to me.
Right.
But how about this? Wrap it up for today. I feel we've been talking for way too much.